The impact of the English Civil War on Britain was colossal. The people rose against the arrogance of the king, Charles I, leading to his execution. This marked a massive uprising against the political, social and religious principles of the monarchy. The first battle of this incredible event happened in St Albans.
The Civil War was about to start in October 1642. The parliamentary forces would have passed through St Albans, gathering strength and support on their way. St Albans volunteer troops were ready to fight and had been training all summer. They would have joined the journeying forces and been prepared to die for their cause. The war started with the Battle of Edgehill on October the 23rd, 1642, and from then on, nothing was the same in St Albans.
On the 14th of January 1643, the Royalist Sheriff Thomas Coningsby attempted to raise troops in St Albans for the King, and this involved reading out a proclamation underneath the clock tower. However, scuffles took place between him and parliamentarians, and eventually he was arrested by Oliver Cromwell, who was recruiting cavalry in the town.
St Albans had chosen its side and was heavily into training. They used the Abbey grounds to train troops for the hard battles ahead. The war was affecting the whole community. A local landowner, Colonel Alban Cox, was in charge of the local militia cavalry. St Albans was putting everything it had into the cause, and even turned part of the Abbey gate into a prison. Despite the safety that came with having the troops in the area, they still had to be on guard. To defend against royalists, they built a deadly spiked barrier across Holywell Street.
In the winter of 1643 to 1644, the Earl of Essex based his troops in St Albans. This massive force had to be housed in many pubs, inns and farms of the area. These amazing buildings survived the war and the mass of the soldiers they sheltered, and are still popular comfort spots today.
In the early spring and summer of 1645, the marketplace of St Albans would have seen a flurry of activity as soldiers were prepared and trained to join the new model army. The new model army was a replacement for the old armies of the Earl of Essex and the other parliamentary commanders. The overall commander of the new model was Sir Thomas Fairfax, and the commander of the cavalry was Oliver Cromwell.
The parliamentarians were defeating the royalists with tremendous strength. However, the forces had new problems from within. The new model army wasn't happy, and their pay and conditions of living meant mutiny. These men were taken to St Albans and dishonourably discharged from the forces. Their punishment didn't end there though. The mayor had a giant wooden horse built which the mutineer men had to drag down the middle of the two lines of soldiers. While taking the strain of the giant horse, they were beaten and whipped cruelly. The punishment for insubordination. In 1648, the Royalists rose again, and a brief second civil war ended with the siege of Colchester by the parliamentarian forces. Some of the Royalists captured in Colchester were imprisoned in St Peter's Church, where they destroyed some of the pews normally occupied by parliamentarian gentry such as Alban Cox.
The incredible debates over the fate of the arrogant King Charles I were held in the Abbey Church. Here, senior officers of the new model army called for the trial and punishment of the divinely elected king. The people killed their own king in January 1649.
The execution of Charles I was the revolutionary uprising of a society that felt ignored and controlled. St Albans survived the war. It was pivotal as a host to many battles and ensured the future freedom of the people's voice.